doing concerts, so interesting to him. He's now starting acting in films like The Man Who Fell to Earth. You might remember that one. Well, now for the first time, he is on stage in Elephant Man. And David Bowie is always trying. He's always trying something different, something completely unexpected, I think. For a small taste, we have a little clip of David performing in a new composition. And by the way, he also directed what you're about to see, so watch this. Now will the real David Bowie please stand up. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Very well.
You are always someone different. If anybody watches the rock concerts, all your albums, you're always assuming these different physical images. Where do all these characters come from?
Well, when I first started writing songs, I never really wanted to perform them myself, so I started creating characters to sing them for me on stage, because nobody else would sing them at the time. I still don't, as a matter of fact.
You're more comfortable coming out not as David Bowie as you know him.
Well, now, yes, but at that particular time, 10, 12 years ago, I wasn't at all comfortable with sort of being a performer. It wasn't something I wanted to do at the time, but I got to like it over the years. An
awful lot of performers talk about how difficult it is to deal with what the public sees them as and what they really are like. Do you have a problem with that? Because you're so many different people.
Not really, because I don't sort of circulate in places where there's much public.
You're a very private person?
Not really. It's not that so much as that I prefer travelling than sticking in cities where you're sort of immersed in a rock and roll circus. So I end up in Africa or Germany or Japan.
I know. I asked you before the show, where do you call home? And you said,
one of those three, I guess.
One of those three?
Those three are my ports of call most of the time. Mombasa, Berlin, and Kyoto.
Mostly they're on the road. What were you like? When you were a little boy, were you like a little pint-sized boy? Were you always running around changing outfits? Did you have a very vivid imagination?
The imagination was vivid, yes, but I didn't sort of explore it too much until I was in my teens.
Were you shy as a youngster?
Not really, no. But I was drawn to painting and whatever, so I became a painter to start. I was a painter before I did all this.
Does that have anything to do with all the makeup and
yeah, I guess I wanted to explore rock in a sort of... I also was a mime. I was with a mime company for about 3.5 years.
You use a lot of that in your performance.
So a lot of the makeup and whatever came from kabuki theatre and Japanese mime.
I asked you about you as a little boy. I happened to read you. You have a son. He's, 9 years old? Is he anything like what you were like at that age?
Yeah, he's a very curious guy, but he's more into sort of academic things and science and inventions and space exploration.
Does he go with you on the road?
Yeah, he comes as often as he can if he's not at school.
He knows what you do then. What does he think of Dad and all these crazy things? Because I must say, you do some crazy things.
No, I don't think they're crazy at all. I think they're quite fun. He thinks they're fun.
I know that you've had him along on tour with Elephant Man. You're used to doing rock concerts and having an awful lot of freedom to do whatever you want on stage. Are you enjoying now doing a play where you do the same thing night after night?
Well, it doesn't become the same thing. I never believed the old adage that it would change every night, but it does change every night. Whatever mood I'm in before I go on stage, it seems to reflect itself in the performance.
Elephant Man, for anyone who is not familiar with the play, it's a very demanding role. You play, it's a true story about a very disfigured man.
It was neurofibromatosis, that the sort of condition that he suffered with. A guy called John Marek, who was around in the 1860s in London, and was taken off to freak shows and eventually was rescued by a doctor called Dr. Treves and taken to the London hospital and kept there and sort of lionized by the aristocracy until his death. That's the sort of the chronological aspect of him, but the play really deals with his, and everybody else is coming to terms with normalcy, and you can't read a book by its cover kind of thing.
It's a very demanding role. You don't use makeup, right? How do you prepare for a role like that?
Well, I was plunged into it pretty fast by the time things got cracking, so I went to the London hospital and I found the plaster casts of John Marek and a small church that he made and bits of his clothing and whatever, and just sort of got an atmosphere from that, but there's nothing really much you can study.
What about each night, though, to prepare yourself so that you can perform like
the physical part of it? I don't find much trouble with that. It's coming out of the thing afterwards, you know, it's really bent up, so I do some exercises afterwards.
You do the exercises afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the first time that you've done a Broadway play. It is coming to Broadway, by the way, at the end of this month,
Yes.
right? Are you enjoying this? Why have you not done acting before, this type of acting?
Nobody asked me. I got asked this year, so I sort of plunged into it. But yes, well, it's a really hard role. I either sort of die a death or sort of try and make it work.
You're definitely not starting at the bottom with something easy and working up. You took one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, I think that to explore those kinds of avenues makes for interesting.
Opening night. Do you get jitters? I mean, I'm wondering about the play, but even in your concerts,
Yeah.
are you a little nervous before you go on?
But yeah, I don't like riding in on a concert in too relaxed a state.
You like the adrenaline flowing
Yes,
then?
very much.
How about Elephant Man? Did you have a lot of jitters opening night?
Yeah, I was petrified. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Really?
Once I got on stage, and the supporting cast were just truly wonderful.
We wish you the best of luck, and I really want to thank you for being with us this morning. I know that you do not do shows like this often.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.